Hello. So we have now got a prioritized object map, a reprioritized object map, and we are ready to start sketching. We now know what we might want to put on the mini cards, we might want to put on the cards and the detail pages, and what we need to think about for the list. So I'm going to show you roughly the approach that I'm taking with this. I sort of think of these things much in the layout of what I've got here in the Adalo screen that I've created, this weird custom Frankenstein screen. And so I want to think about, we'll write down, I'll do it in this order. We've got, oh, you'll just be looking at my hand for a while, won't you? Sorry. Gift, person, item. And we want to think about blurring the camera. We want to think about the list first, because we want to get an idea of how the list is maybe going to be laid out. Sometimes it really doesn't matter. Sometimes you can't go that wrong, but some objects really want to belong to a certain kind of layout, and that's going to restrict how you can shape your cards and your mini cards. So we're going to look at that first, and then after that, we're going to start looking at our cards and our mini cards. And that's where we're going to get this cross relation between different objects, because we want to make sure that they look different from each other, but that the mini cards that appear in the other object look like the card of the object itself. And then we've got the detail page. So I'm going to start. This is not going to. This is not the kind of diagram or sketching or anything that fits within the confines that you try to give it. It's going to quickly spin into chaos, but that's the point of sketching. It's all fine. So I'm going to start out with thinking about the list. And when I think about a list of people, objects, or items, I mean, I do kind of, for items, I don't think we have too many restrictions when it comes to person and item. I think with items we could do something that's kind of cute, like sort of e-commerce style browsing of products with the pictures and the prices, and that's just meant to be a 2-up grid column. You can tell what kind of quality of session you're in store for already. And with person, I think we're pretty much at liberty. I mean, you could do cute little person cards like these in also a 2-up grid, or you could do vertical person cards. I think we're pretty much fine with whatever. Gift, on the other hand, we were thinking about, should it look like a calendar? And I do want something a bit like that. But at the same time, when I think of a calendar, I think of mainly a lot of calendar UIs are set up in a way where the main thing that you can see is the calendar. You can't really see anything in the calendar unless you click into it. A pen fell. And so I'm going to lean away from that for a second, because while that might be a really useful view, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the only view. I think at some point in someone's life, they're going to want to see some sort of list of all the gifts that are coming up and what's next. It's sort of like a slightly pretty to-do list, essentially. And so they're going to want something that's a bit more list-like. And so I don't want to start with a calendar. What I am thinking is, okay. Again, actually, I think maybe we're not that restricted on the list, so that's a good sign. So when we think about the card, what is a gift card actually? I mean, forget about the idea of a card. What is a gift? When you think of it structurally, if you imagined being, an image of a gift that you've planned, it feels mostly like you've taken a person and a thing, and you're matchmaking them for the sake of a particular occasion. And so it's kind of like those three things coming together. And then, yes, there's a date, there's whether you've done it or not. And I think that's quite good. The interesting thing about that is that we've got these two has-one relationships that are almost more important than anything else. But I'm not going to put them on the mini card. I can't really put them on the mini card. But I don't really need to think about the mini card yet. So what I'm thinking about for gift is these two things that are coming together. I do like the people in circles is good. And a product. And maybe under the sake of some sort of occasion. And then what would you want? We need to have the status somewhere. I'm hoping that I can make that a call to action to actually change the status, because I think that would be quite, I think that's like a convention. People cannot often easily expect that. So as well as that, we've also got the date. Actually, the date probably worth being higher up. So that's a sort of a tall looking card. And that kind of, I don't think this is really going to be possible, though. I can't fit an entire person mini card. I could. I could write the names underneath. So that's a possibility. But also we could do, if we wanted something horizontal, we could maybe do something to do with the person, and then something to do with the product, and then the information like status, occasion, date in its own section. That's doable. We also have to think, if we want to allow navigation through a mini card to the object that is in the mini card, we need to make sure that there's a good enough hitbox for the thing that is not the mini card, that is the card, the host object. Otherwise, so for here, like sort of 30% of the entire thing is what you can click on in order to get to the actual object instance that this whole card is representing. That doesn't feel great. I'm not a huge fan of that. Another option could be some sort of mini cards like this, like using this kind of thing. And then information about that, either, I don't know, above or below. But I'm already thinking I'm not a huge fan of this because, and I know I was talking about going into, you can do all the cards first and then worry about the detail page later, etc. Well, actually thinking about it, I mean, this design challenge is an interesting one because essentially you've got this gift object that is like a junction between person and item that doesn't, I mean, yes, it has its own information and that information is valuable, but so much of it is really just in those two objects that it is combining, that there's not much to it itself. There's just a little bit of information about that combination. And so I really want the detail page to really sing that song of these two things coming together. And I'm worried that if I create these mini cards that look horizontal for person and for item, which I can do, I could have something that I was toying with before actually was we have the item, we may put the price here, and then we have all the tags, and then, oh, I was also thinking about next gift. I'll come back to that. So the problem with having these things, and I probably want that for person as well, even though I do want them to look different, they're going to have to look like they fit together on the gift page. I think that's really important. I think it's a nice part of the UI. And so when we get to the gift, so this is cards, we're doing cards here, detail page, When we get to the detail page down here, we're really going to think, where's the gift? I really want something that feels like these kind of two things have come together and been matched in some way. That's meant to be a star, not a desperate flail on a paper. And so, and then have the information here, maybe like status and occasion, maybe the date, something like that. And so here, I mean, this would actually be the card of the person, but yeah. I want something like this. I'm not too keen on, after trying it out, something more like, sorry, blah, 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 blah. And then you've got the tags, and then you've got something about the next gift or something like that. And the same thing with, I'm reversing that now, but don't really need to. Yeah. Having these two horizontal things that come together and having to kind of make them look like a match. It wouldn't be terrible. Something feels really good about that. I mean, this is a mobile app, and unlike desktops, mobile apps have a lot of vertical real estate to play with. This just feels very nice. And so I'm hoping that I can somehow have these more vertical cards for the person and the item. So the item, I could give it a name like this, and the price. Yeah, a bit of silhouette there. And then I could have the tags, and then something about a next gift. Only thing is, whatever this is, so this will be a gift mini card. And I know, I said that gifts shouldn't have, gifts, that mini cards tend not to be for anything that has a 0 to many or a 1 to many relationship. It's mainly for a has one. Well, that point still stands. What I am doing, which is perfectly acceptable, just want to do it mindfully and not just do it for everything ever, is in this case, I think it's almost pointless to look at a list of people, go to your people top level list and see all the people that you have and maybe not see them. I want to see them ordered. For example, the default sort here for person and item is to know how soon the next gift is. And I did say we shouldn't sort and filter by something that isn't appearing on the card. And so we kind of need to show when the next gift is. And so you could almost document it as a has one relationship for next gift and then a different relationship for all the gifts. It kind of is interchangeable on an object map. It's whether that's helpful for you or not. It's probably not how it would be implemented in the system. That's fine. So this is what this would be. This would be the next gift, which now tells us, we need, I didn't make a space for mini card. We need a mini card for gifts. And if we have a mini card for gifts, and I'm pretty much saying here that this is already quite a lot of vertical space. So we've got my desire for this lovely setup here, this combination of cards, is giving me the need for a vertical card for item and for person. And that is giving me the need, I think, for probably a horizontal mini card for gift. And so when I'm thinking about the gift, I mean, this is also tricky because a gift mini card, what I've put on here, what I've ranked highest is we've got the title, whatever we're going to conjure that to be, the occasion and the date, which actually on its own, unless the person's name or the item and the item's name are baked into the title, doesn't actually tell us anywhere near enough information. So that's no good. And so so now I have to sort of make the executive decision that in the name, the title for the gift, we're going to need to bake in probably occasion and date. Or maybe just occasion. and maybe we've got the person and the item. We could do that. We could do that. But visually, what I really want, the reason why I'm baking that into this is because I want space for my top 1 to 3 attributes that I can fit on the mini card. I want that to be able to include pull through attributes of the optional photos for the person and the item. There is a placeholder as well, but if the placeholder is on, you need to know the name of the person, obviously. That's what I want, right? I'm pretty sure that a mini card of a gift needs that information. It's a strange case because you've got this gift that is kind of just a shell of a combination of 2 important objects. It's not quite a shell object, not really. There's plenty of information that it has, but its context is completely dependent on this pairing. So I want to have something that is maybe kind of like this, where you've got the title here, the product image here, the person image there. Ignore that little squiggle. And in that case, we need our gift card to be horizontal, or horizontal-ish. It doesn't have to be really horizontal. I put this under person. Sorry, this is meant to be, yeah, blah, 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 blah. There we are. Fantastic. And so we can't really go with that, or this, or this. I mean, no, we can go, we can't go with this unless we make those really, no, this one could work actually. But at the same time, yes, because the mini card of the item can look like this. The problem with this is, yes, the reason I ruled this one out is because it can't, there's no room on the detail page. Ooh, sorry, there's no room on the detail page to put this 3rd column of information. And so we would have to shapeshift. Or we can if we really need to. But I'm thinking, do we really need to? And this is where I'm going to imagine taking inspiration from this. We've got the person mini card and the product mini card should be swapped over. The combination of them. And yes, it needs to look horizontal. But these are horizontally together. And yeah, I think I'm gonna add the information there. So we have the status and the occasion and date. And so this will be a mini card sorry, that's the gift. Sorry, this is the gift card. And this is the item card. And the person card is going to look similar, but with the circular photo. And this is going to be birthday. But then everything else is pretty much the same, including next gift. And so now we have our cards, and I can think about the detail pages for person and item. But I think that's as much as I do. You probably have the energy to listen to. That is the kind of juggling that we're doing, but it is definitely worth it. And it's actually, I mean, it's a barrel of fun, especially when you keep reminding yourself that you're just making marks on paper. If you have to throw away your work at this point, this is the cheapest work you can throw away. So that's a comfort. Okay, let me show you what I came out with. I don't want to say it's high fidelity for a UX designer, but it's not high fidelity in general. This isn't perfect screen design that's finished. This is criminally nice wireframes. Wireframes probably shouldn't be this nice. It's somewhere in between. But I want to show you what Orca is capable of. Okay, I'll see you there.